Welcome to my journey home to the Latin Mass.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Today we have a special guest. This is Mary. She is a university student, and she is going to talk about her journey home to the Latin Mass. And Mary, usually the way we do these things is we just get some cursory details on, were you a cradle Catholic or a convert? And how you found your way to the Latin Mass and your early experiences, and then how that's carried on until today.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was born and raised Catholic. I was raised in a Catholic homeschool community, so homeschooled till the day I went to college.
Wow.
But always went to the new Mass. Didn't even know about the Latin Mass. Didn't know it was a thing till I came to college, and my close friend Olivia and her boyfriend Victor were really into the Latin Mass.
How did you meet them?
I met Olivia through the Catholic ministry on campus.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's how I met her, and then I met Victor through her. And they talked a lot about it sophomore year, but I was quite opposed sophomore year to it.
Really?
Yeah, I was very opposed. I was really into Hillsong. I went to Hillsong concerts. And I kind of loved also the aspect of Mass on campus, how it was so relaxed and people wear sweatpants. That was attractive in a way to me. But then we got sent home for quarantine in March, and that summer was very pivotal for me because I started doing my own research into Latin Mass, finding a lot of people really online actually who would talk about it, and watching different videos and reading different articles about it, and just kind of learning more about it. And through that, and I talked to Olivia and Victor at the end of the summer and told them that I was reading a book about it, and so they invited me to go that fall. Well, they invited me lots of times before, but I never went. And they invited me in the fall, and I finally went. And
so this was fall of 2020.
Fall of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, my junior year.
Wow.
Yeah, and I went, and I loved it, and I haven't been to Mass on campus on a Sunday since then.
Yay. So that's basically no campus Novus Ordo since.
Yeah, well, daily Mass.
Daily Mass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. So you're less than a year into this whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite new.
Why were you, now you said you were growing up homeschooled, and you went to the Novus Ordo that whole time. Would you classify it as a Reverend Novus Ordo, or middle of the road, or clowns and balloons? How would you describe it?
I would say it's quite reverent. I do love my home parish. We have a
Okay.
communion rail. The priest is always faced toward the altar.
Oh wow!
I didn't know that was a thing until I came to college.
Yeah. And you're from Virginia?
Virginia.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm from Virginia.
okay. Yeah, and Arlington Diocese, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
It has a good reputation.
it has a good reputation. There's a lot of good priests there. When you first started to attend the Latin Mass, was there an obstacle to the language, the Latin? Did that bother you, or was it whatever, I have a translation booklet?
I would say it bothered me. I had no idea what was going on, but I really liked that because I thought it was very mysterious.
Oh.
And I don't know, I just really love that. Recently now, my parents got me a missal for Christmas, so I've been learning how to follow along more, which I also like, but I wouldn't say the language was ever a barrier.
Okay.
So have your parents started to attend since you attend?
They have not. My mom has been researching a lot and really, really loves it, but they have not attended yet.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's a shout out.
And a child shall lead them.
Putting pressure on all parents. If your kids are going rad trad, you should join them to keep the family together, okay?
Yeah.
How has the community aspect of this particular Latin Mass group and the associates that you have on campus, how has that helped your, sort of transition or journey towards traditionalism?
Yeah, I'd say for me it's mostly been my friends on campus. They're so holy and so into the Latin Mass, and that has been definitely a help, just seeing them each day. But I'd say also the community at the parish that we attend has also been really amazing, because I think just seeing the big families and how they devote their entire Sunday to Mass, and they're not rushing home to do work or homework or anything, shows they truly believe that it's a day of rest.
You've been in this ball game for less than a year. What do you think about the growth rate now of where we were from when you first came in? Have you been able to notice hype and more interest, and that this is turning into a movement amongst youth and college students. Have you noticed anything there?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, this year I've really seen a lot of students come to it more. I think because it's kind of like an escape from all the virus stuff.
Yeah.
And also, I think if you're serious about your faith, you're really drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with COVID, people who are less serious, just aren't going to Mass anymore.
Yeah, they're staying home.
So in the past I've asked people what is the difference that you notice between the Latin Mass and the Novus Ordo, but because you attended a Mass that was ad Orientem communion rails, it's basically one of the ideal Novus Ordos. So what are the similarities that you see, like some of the similarities that you found when you attended the Latin Mass that, are qualities of a good Novus Ordo?
Yeah. I'd say reverence towards the Eucharist. And how the whole Mass just revolves around that. I think that's something I was really missing on campus. And I think the Latin Mass in my home parish, it's so apparent and easy to know that, like, this is the body and blood of Jesus Christ when it's treated with such reverence.
How has, you mentioned you just got a missal. Have you learned anything about the faith, about theological concepts, about catechism, about saints from the Latin Mass, the Old Mass?
Yeah, I'd say I'm not directly like in the Latin Mass, but I
Mhm.
think from my friends who also attend, I've learned a lot from them. And I think also the Latin Mass like raises questions for me that cause me to like look more deeply into it, and so I guess learn more about theology that way.
Yeah.
A question from the cheap seats.
Yes.
Mary, you talked about when you were invited to the Latin Mass, you didn't want to go. You had to be asked several times. You had to see people do it and come back alive. But seriously, why? What held you back from going to the Latin Mass?
Well, I guess I saw it as a separation of our community on campus, and like seeing, this group that goes to Latin Mass, but wanting to stay loyal to, I guess, like the priests and the Mass on campus, was a big reason. I think I'm also just stubborn, and so, especially my friend Victor, I was like, I'm not going to go if you keep asking me. But I'm glad they did, so I guess that would be the reason.
Thanks, Mary.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're breaking ground here, and I thank you for showing up. We have a good contingent of college students, and invite more friends. Spread the word. When we were up there, when we were eating breakfast after Mass, I was talking to the priest, and we discussed how adamant those partisans or devout members of the virus religion are, and they're always preaching, like, get the jab, wear a mask, So we have to be like 10 times more evangelistic as the purveyors of the virus religion. So, ladies and gentlemen, invite friends, attend the Latin Mass, just go. It'll save your life, it'll save your soul.
All right, thank you, Mary, very much. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.